had a bunch of lucid dreams already. I gotta tell you about them. The first one happened probably about a week ago already, and I became lucid in a bathroom in a school. I walked outside the bathroom, and there was a bunch of zombies walking around. And so I decided to do the kind of Walking Dead thing where I pretended to be one of them so that they didn't attack me. And I didn't smear gore on myself, but I just tried to walk slowly out of the building so that they wouldn't notice me. And then once I got outside the building, I flew, and then I flew towards a kind of lake. It was kind of like a big pond or a really small lake. And there was like a little island of dry land in the middle. And I flew onto that little patch of dry land, and I was trying to just chill out and try to stabilize the dream, like I'd been wanting to, but a wave from the water came up and splashed me and kind of took me away with its watery powers. And then I think I had a false awakening from there. And then I woke up falsely woke up in my mom's room, or a dream version of my mom's room. It was still a dream. But I was in my mom's room, and I looked in the mirror, and I don't remember what about my reflection looked weird, but they say that your reflection normally doesn't look normal in dreams, and I think it didn't look normal, so yeah, I realized it was a dream. And then I walked outside my mom's room, and instead of entering the hallway in my house, the hallway became like the hallway of a hotel, and there was a big set of double doors to my right. And what I wanted to do at that point was I wanted to try to get in a grassy, peaceful field to try to chill out, like I've been trying to do. I tried to close my eyes and just picture it, which has worked for me, but it didn't work for me this time for some reason. Because the last time I tried to do that, I closed my eyes and I woke up for real in, the real life, a real awakening, which was bad. So this time, what I tried to do was keep awareness on my dream body while closing my eyes, so that way I don't close my eyes and then just end up back in my bed. So the way that I tried to focus on my dream body was I tried to jog in a circle. And then I closed my eyes while I was jogging, but that didn't work. I think because the jogging took too much attention away from the visualizing, so that didn't work. But then I tried this other method, which is you picture where you want to go. Hopefully you have a door with you, right? If there's a door around you, you picture where you want to go, and then you open the door, and hopefully the place that you pictured is there on the other side of the door. So I tried to do that with the double doors that were there in the hallway, but when I opened them, it wasn't a field of peacefulness. It was a it was a big room, kind of like a ballroom, but empty and just white, and no furniture or anything. But there was a bunch of creepy people dressed in all white, and they were bald, and I think they were playing racquetball, or one of them was, and the other ones were just standing against the wall. So I was like, shit, that's not what I wanted. But then I just left, and when I left and I went outside, I found that it was kind of like there were pools. There was one big pool, and then there was a little jacuzzi-sized pool outside, as if it was the outside of a hotel with a pool and a jacuzzi. So I got in the jacuzzi to try to chill out, and I felt the water and stuff, so that was pretty good. But it was a little bit warm, so I tried to make a breeze happen. So I was kind of doing this with my hands and trying to make a breeze happen, and it worked a little bit. But then another wave came up and it splashed me all over, and fucked up my peacefulness. So that was that. Yeah, the next dream I had, I shall tell you about after I read my notes. The next lucid dream I had was, I think, 2 nights ago. And it started as if I was watching a show, and the show was SpongeBob, and it looked like one of the old shows, like before they started changing the way that they illustrated it. Like it just looked like one of the first shows. And it was taking place at night, and SpongeBob had to leave the Krusty Krab and go to a warehouse nearby to pick up some ingredients or something. But as he left the house, changed from me watching it from the outside to me being in the point of view of SpongeBob. And when that switch of point of view happened, I became lucid. And so I realized I was in a dream, and which is what becoming lucid means in this context. And I walked outside, and it was nighttime still, but I was now me and not SpongeBob. And walking to that warehouse where SpongeBob was supposed to go, walked up to it, it changed into a construction tower. It became like a tower, but not completed, like as if it's still under construction. But it had some lights up there. And so I decided to fly up, but I just flew past it. I didn't try to land on it. So I flew up, and I had my arms like this, and I kind of spun around so that I was kind of facing the sky as I was flying. And I looked at the stars in the sky, and the stars kind of started gathering together to form the shape of a snowflake. And then it became, instead of, like, it morphed into an actual snowflake as opposed to just being in the shape of a snowflake. And so I was like, oh cool, maybe I should go to some snowy place instead of a grassy place to chill out. So I closed my eyes and focused on the snowflake, and then the dream around me changed to where I was kind of like I was in a bell tower, like a tower where they keep a bell, like a giant bell, like the Hunchback of Notre Dame where you ring it and stuff. But there was no bell. I was just in the tower where that would be. And next to me was Santa Claus, because it was a snowy place. Well, actually, it was icy at first. Everything was just frozen, and the tower that we were in wasn't made of wood or anything. It was just made of ice. And as I looked around, everything seemed kind of CGI. Like it looked a lot like Scrooge, like the movie where Jim Carrey is the Scrooge. I don't remember what it's called. But yeah, it didn't look real. So the first thing I did was try to make it look real, and it worked. And so now it looked real, but everything was still made of ice. And then Santa Claus, he started leading me. He led me somewhere, so I just followed him. So I'm following Santa to me into a hallway, but everything's still made of ice. No. I think once we get into the hallway, I realize that it would look a lot cooler if it wasn't just ice. Like if stuff was made out of wood and there was like a fireplace or something. So I kind of started picturing that kind of stuff. And when I did that, some wood kind of started happening, Like as we were walking, the dream around us started becoming like we were now in a building. But there was still ice outside, but kind of snowy, like not just pure like hard ice, like there was some snow too. So yeah, he walks me into an elevator, Santa Claus, and we go down the elevator, and when the elevator opens, in front of me, or in front of the elevator, there's a room with a piano, and playing the piano is the guy from Ratatouille, the scary-looking critic guy that is super, like, hunched over and tall and has a big nose and stuff. The creepy-looking guy. He's playing the piano, very slow, like, solemn song, and it sounded really good. It was, like, very, like, like almost trying to think of the words. Like it kind of resonated with me, so I liked it. Um, and he was playing a piano that wasn't a grand piano. It was one of those pianos that it's kind of like just cut off on at the side, so it's kind of just like a rectangle. But it sounded like a grand piano. Like the sound was, it sounded big like a grand piano. But I tried not to look at the guy that was playing the piano because he creeped me out. So I like avoided eye contact with him, and I continued to follow Santa. And Santa led me to the left, down another hallway, and around a flight of stairs. And around the flight of stairs was a living room that had carpet, and it had some warm-looking chairs with blankets and stuff. So it was pretty cool, and a fireplace, I think. I don't know if it had a fireplace, but it definitely felt like it would have had a fireplace. So Santa sits down in one of them comfy looking chairs, and he gets out a book. And so I'm standing there next to the chair, next to Santa in the chair. And then to the left, from behind of one of the other chairs, a creepy looking creature comes out. It kind of looked like something from The Nightmare Before Christmas, and it was like a dog, but it was very creepy. I don't really know how to explain it. Like it seemed like it was claymation, like in The Nightmare Before Christmas. And dog was peeking out from behind the couch, and then a puppy that also looked claymation and kind of creepy uh, comes up to Santa Claus, and he picks up the puppy. And at that point, I start waking up, and so the dream around me fades, and I'm like, oh shit. And then I wake up, and I'm like, damn.